Hey there, thanks so much for sending the video. It gives me a chance to continue watching baseball even though my season's over with, which I'm sure Haley loves more than anything. But I was going to walk through the swing a little bit with you and kind of tell you what I see and maybe some things to work on and some of the things that he does really well. First of all, the balance that he has at the plate to start with is ideal for him to get his swing going. I also like the fact that he has his front foot kind of cocked back a little bit. It allows for his eyes to see the ball a little bit more clearly as the ball is coming in. As we get into the swing, I want to show you one little thing that I noticed. See, here we got our load, which is fine. Everything's good up until this point. His hands are dropping a little bit, but that's not a big deal. That right here is where I wanted to show you. If you notice, his hands have already started moving forward and his foot just now hit the ground. Okay? Now, theoretically, what we would rather happen is we would rather his hands to be back farther into his swing. So when his hands started back where his back foot is, that's kind of where we would want his hands to stay until his front foot hit the ground. And so his hands have moved a little bit. If we go back to the beginning of his swing, okay, so if we mark his hands are here, okay, and we got our back foot, hands are right over our back foot, okay? So this is where he starts, which is a good position, like we said earlier, okay? But as we keep going, look at where his hands are here, okay? So his hands have already kind of crept up a little bit. Now they're on the inside of the back foot. His foot's just now touching the ground. Now let's go a little bit farther in the swing, okay? So he is already, his hips are already opening up and his hands are coming. Okay, so theoretically what we would want is we would want his hands to be back at the very beginning when his hips start opening. That would allow him to increase his torque, increase his power, bat speed, all that kind of good stuff. As we continue through the swing, he has a good bat path. Okay, so his hands went directly to the ball, which is excellent. The thing that I would kind of work on from this point is watch the direction that his bat goes from here. Okay, so we have a good power V, but then it just stays down. Okay, the finish and the bat finish is down, and then he releases the bat here. What we would like to see. Let me see if I can actually get it to do this. We would actually like to see him come at the ball and then to finish higher, and that would give him more of a, keep the bat in the hitting plane a little bit longer. So here, notice the barrel stays below that all the way through. See where the barrel's down, then it stays down, okay? So barrel's down, stays down, and then we release. Now he's a stronger kid, and so he's losing a little bit of his power by not allowing his hands to go through the ball at a little bit of a higher elevation. Some of that comes from the fact that his hands are earlier than his hips. See here, his hands are already there, which doesn't give him much bat whip. Okay, so some of that probably has to do with this. He's trying to get out of the box as quickly as he possibly can, which, by the way, hopefully he's okay. I did hear someone say that he got hit in the head, but I think he has a really good swing. One of the things that I think would help solve some of this is his front step. So he does start a little bit open like we talked about. And so he kind of starts here. We'll go on the inside of the foot. When he steps, we get about 4 inches probably. And so we kind of go about right there. Now, what that does is if you look at his angle, let me see if I can get it right. Oh, wrong one. Okay, so if we look at his angle, his feet aren't very far apart, probably about 50 degrees or so. We would want that angle to be a little bit farther out. So if we could get his front foot to step out maybe just another 2 inches or so, that would give him a little bit more of a base to use, and then he could drive his back knee through the ball and give him a little bit more pop coming off the bat. Now, all that said, I don't think this is anything that is terribly wrong with the swing. I don't think there's any kind of things that needs fixing immediately. I think he has a really good swing. I think some of it is, and all younger guys kind of get into it, is they try to swing to not miss the ball instead of swinging to hit the ball. And so their intent isn't to swing hard. It's to swing to touch it instead of swing to drive it. And so maybe it's just getting him into the mindset of driving the ball a little bit more and using his backside. Some of the things you can do is you can have him, you can put a tire on a metal pole and have him swing and spin the tire around the pole. Or you can get some masking tape and tape it at the very end of the barrel, right at about the last ½ inch of the barrel. Tape a whole bunch of masking tape and have him hit with that, and that'll cause his barrel to kind of come through a little bit more. But those two things, just mainly just getting him to believe he's trying to hit the ball as hard as he possibly can every time he swings. I think that would go a long way. If you have any questions, you can either email me or email Haley, whichever works. I'd be more than happy to look at any videos for you guys and give you any ideas of what might help. I'll do what I can, but just let me know if you have any questions or if this all makes sense. We'll talk with you later.